All right, y'all, so welcome back to the channel, and for any of our new subscribers, a little bit of background. We're a large family of 8. We strategically relocated to Texas 8 years ago. Approximately 4 or 5 years ago, we started developing our infrastructure and what I like to call our Food 401-K or our food forest. And I'm in the back food forest, and I just wanted to update y'all. For all y'all that's been following us since the original OG days, thanks for watching. But I want you to see what we've been able to accomplish here in 4 years, not knowing anything, not having ever planted anything in our entire lives. And Texas Mom, she'll do all the garden stuff. I'm showing you the food forest stuff because that's kind of the stuff I do. We first planted our front zone, which we'll show you that too. This is our back zone where we collect water, and we use lots of creative ways to redistribute it. We use an enormous amount of mulch, and we've been doing lots of food experiments back here. But I'll show you what's going on and how everything's recovered from the snowmageddon, snowpocalypse, and our late freezes and whatnot. But you can clearly see here we have lots of fruit going on right now. We have elderberries blooming and fruit starting to set on the elderberry. The mulberry trees are just starting to cycle out. We have lots of mulberries to pick on here. We've also upgraded our audio, and so we got some wireless mics for your viewing pleasure. And no, our YouTube channel does not generate that kind of revenue to pay for cool AV stuff, but we do it anyway. When I started this and I had this idea, I wanted to intensively plant everything to develop different layers of trees and shrubs, so that way there would be understories and microclimates. And once the superstructure gets developed, I want to really try to push our growing zone to see if we can get into the tropical zone 9 and 10 stuff. So that's why everything's so intensively planted. And it is a food jungle. And we have several varieties of mulberries. We have planted back here, we probably have 60 or 80 varieties of figs. We have several varieties of persimmons. This is a Fuyu persimmon, and this is the first year that this is fruiting. Over here on the other side, we have a Tamapan persimmon. They're both Asian persimmons, large, seedless Asian persimmons. Pears do really well here, and we have 8 different varieties of pear. We're gonna have a very large, we'll get hundreds of gallons of pears this year, Lord willing, of course. We do the planting, we do the sowing, God does the growing, and it's, whatever He wills for us to actually land is what we get. The reason we intensively plant and we drop multiple varieties, species, and even variations of varieties is to help reduce pest pressure and eliminate pest pressure. The other thing we do that you'll notice, you'll see some Muscovy ducks and some chickens running around here, and they're helping keep the bugs down. They are helping fertilize and doing all that stuff. We ran about 60 ducks and maybe 40 or 50 chickens back here all winter. And this was, I mean, they had it completely decimated. There was no greenery back here. There was so much bird pressure. Now we pull a lot of them off so that, because they will obviously eat the fruit if we let them. And so we don't do that. We have more elderberry back here. Obviously you can see from the food forest, we planted this side first, probably about 5 years ago. We continue to expand in that direction. So that's why everything over there is a little bit less mature. But it's really strange when you plant these trees that are like a couple feet tall, and then to walk back through here 4 years later. And I just wanted it to be like just this really cool place to be where you can walk amongst the trees. And if it's got fruit on it, I don't prune it back. once we harvest the fruit, I'm gonna prune like walkways in here. But for right now, I'm not really pruning anything. You can see more pear trees. We got some apple. This is, we have 4 or 5 different variety of apples. And this is an apple tree. And this is our 2nd year with fruit on this tree, hopefully.
Yeah, there's 2 over here.
Yep, the birds won't eat it this year. Last year we left the birds back here and they got to our apple trees and ate the fruit. So we have Gala, Honey Crisp, Golden Delicious, and Fuji. We had 2 other varieties and they just died randomly out of the blue for no good reason. We have 8 variety of pear. We have 2 varieties of Asian pears. This has fruit set on it. So we have a Shinko. Did I step on it?
No.
Oh, look at that. Look at that, y'all. Right there.
Those are eggs.
That's farm fresh. They're chicken eggs, y'all. So when we need some eggs, I'm glad I didn't step on them. Look at that. See, that's the amazing application of permaculture right there. And they're farm fresh. They can't be more than a day old. There's probably a lot out here, y'all. Okay, Hozu and Shinko. So this tree is the first time it's fruiting. It's got maybe a couple dozen fruit on here. And then this tree has fruited 3 years in a row. There's quite a few fruit on here. And they're excellent. If you've never had an Asian pear, they're incredible. This is another variety of pear. We have Kiefer, Warren, Bartlett, Moonglow, and a couple other varieties of pears. We have lots of figs. There's almost all of our fig trees have fruit on them. This was supposed to be a native peach tree that our neighbor gave us. I'm not sure. I'm saying it's an almond tree because I'm seeing the size of these fruits. Maybe not, maybe not. Almonds and peaches starting out look very similar, and the leaf pattern's the same and everything. So I'm watching some of these get bigger. This tree dropped all its fruit last year, so, and it's huge. And I need to have, yeah, it dropped a lot again this year. But these are all part of the experiments, y'all. Yeah, if it didn't work, I'll hack it down and graft to it. There's a Hozu, I think is what that is. And then back here, we have some pawpaw. And I've been babying these pawpaws, y'all, for 3 years now. And you can see that thing is stinking 2 feet tall. And then this, if you've never seen a Texas devilweed, that's a Texas devilweed that I gotta, and that has big time thorns on it. We plant different cover crops, so we have some cantaloupe and watermelon back here. These are all grafted pawpaw, so you got Susquehanna, that one, and this one back here is a chapel, a KSU chapel, and it needs some water. So you see the water canals I'm using back here. I'm trying to passively water as much as I can, and the way we're doing these trenches, these more mature trees, the way they're throwing out their root systems is a lot of this stuff, even though I only have 2 trenches, well, technically 3 trenches, everything still gets watered. You know, it needs to be redirected really close to the small stuff, but the bigger stuff have very large root structures. So now we'll scoot over to the other side and I'll show you the younger side of the food forest. And this will literally be like going back in time 3 or 4 years, because most of this stuff on the other side is new. Everything we're walking through right now is Texas weeds, y'all. Oh, and there's our plum tree that is setting fruit. We have a couple apricots, and then this is our only plum tree.
Dude, is that ready?
That might be ready, y'all.
I've never had a plum.
Oh!
Are they ready?
Dude, what is that? Wow, that is good. That is excellent. The birds, we're sharing with the birds. I don't know what this thing is, y'all. It is excellent.
Wow.
That's why I kind of don't like plums, is they're hard to catch when they're just right.
Not ripe. It's like, it was ripe.
It was overripe?
Yeah. Oh, there's one right there.
Yeah, man, when they're ripe, they're
ripe.
good.
But you gotta catch them, I guess.
Yeah, you gotta, yeah, that's what I don't really like about plums.
Yeah, and then it's just like, oh, it was a day.
And then what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna spray everything with cal and clay. Some more water distribution. We have 3 varieties of elderberry. So in the front, we have Adams. That's what we sell, the cuttings on the website. This is, we have Ranch, Bob Gordon. So we have, this is Bob Gordon, and that's Ranch back there. So we have 3 varieties. I talked to Terry Durham at Harvest Hills, and he told me that Bob Gordon and Ranch do great in our zone. So I bought these cuttings off of him, and they're really starting to grow. And next year, this will seriously take off. It'll be crazy. Elderberry will take off on you. Whoa. And then around this little settling pond, I got some more fig trees. And the idea, once again, is just passive watering. I just planted that. That's why it looks yellow. I just planted this too, and it's already started to fruit and grow. This has grown like 1.5 feet since I planted it about a month ago. We companion plant. I try to companion plant all of our trees with comfrey. And the comfrey is a great chop and drop. It's very medicinal. It'll also, when it wilts, you know that the tree needs to be watered. So if you companion plant a comfrey with your trees, when that comfrey starts to wilt, it says, what are the trees? So it's a natural indicator. And we see more fig trees. I think you're seeing a theme here. This is supposed to be an Lsu Gold. I don't know if it was labeled right. This is a Texas Everbearing. This, I've been waiting for 4 years, and I think there's fruit on this. This is called a lemon fig. I got this at Bob Wells. I don't know what variety it is. It's just labeled lemon fig, and there's lots of figs on it, so I'm excited about testing that out. We got some broody ducks and chickens. So that chicken is sitting on a dozen duck eggs and a couple chicken eggs. And that's a green Ishi. Oh, that's the first year that one's fruit, and that tree's 3 years old. I don't even know where I don't know what this tree is. I mean, this tree burnt to the ground last year, y'all.
Like it wasn't there.
Yeah, and it wasn't here, and it's 8 feet tall, and there's fruit all over it. What we're doing over here, that looks like an elderberry.
No, that looks like a mulberry, dude.
I'm sorry, that is a mulberry.
That looks like a mulberry.
Yeah, that's a mulberry tree.
That's some type of mulberry.
Yeah. And that planted itself. So I'm collecting, we have about 15 variety of mulberry trees because I'm propagating mulberries, and we want to use mulberries as a fodder system for our cows, like a tree hay system. And so currently we have about 15 or 18 varieties of mulberries, from black to red to white to lavender. That's a sweet lavender. So as you can see, this part of the food forest is much younger. And as you can see, I don't really actively, this tree is like loaded with stink bugs, and it really needs to be watered. But this is a sweet lavender. It is gonna rain. So this is just a random fig tree that I planted back here, and there's figs all over it. There's a couple different random trees that just, once they outcompete the weeds, they're off to the races. Mulberry, Spain Noir, and then this is a Silk Hope, and that's a Jan's Best. That's gonna be a dwarf shrub mulberry. That and the World's Best are probably gonna be my hay hedge. This was a Florida giant mulberry that got infested with the beetles that kill it. I hacked it down, I burned it with fire, and I did that 2 months ago, and it's grown back from the stump just like that with these gigantic leaves. And that's a Florida giant mulberry. This is a Chiang Mai number 60. So this mulberry's from China, and it burnt. This was huge, and it burnt all the way to the ground. Now it's gonna come back. We got a bunch of random little fig trees in here. And so this is the back. This is the back food forest. We grow eggs and we grow fruit back here.
There's your other mulberry trees up there too.
Yeah, I got a White Beauty, I got a Valdosta, I got an Illinois Everbearing, and that's a totally different flavor profile. It's a little bit tangier. The berries are just different, and it's really neat. It's just different. It's neat to have different varieties that ripen at different times. Just keeps it real interesting. There's different kinds of pest pressures with each one, so, and it overall reduces the pest pressure as a whole. So it's pretty cool. It's just one gigantic experiment, and we're just try, fail, and adjusting, try, fail, and adjusting. You can see this one is a white beauty. This is a white mulberry. Yeah, and like I said, we companion plants, so we have lots of watermelon back here around our water collection system. They're all gonna get naturally watered. We have these more LSU Thibodeau, emerald strawberry. I intensively planted 2 jujubes. You can see within 3 feet of each other. There's a Lee and a Lang juju. So we'll get tons of jujubes off of that. Lee and Lang. You know, they're not one of the more sought after sweeter varieties, unfortunately, but that's what they had, so that's what I bought. Everybody raves about Honey Jar and a couple of these other ones. That's an LSU Purple.
Cut that all the way back to the ground.
We took cuttings, so that was cut to the ground. And that is 9 feet tall. And then this is another great variety. This is Lsu Tiger. It just grows super fast. Super fast, gigantic fruit on it. I can turn the trench water off here. So that's the best. We got more figs over here. Everything's loaded with fruit, and our water's ripping, so I'll turn that off. If you want to see what kind of roots are running under the ground, and you can see the base of that tree is over there, right? So this gigantic root coming from that root flare, and it's that large, so that tree's getting fed right here, you know, and it just keeps on growing. And we're gonna hack them way down, keep them low so we can keep them picked. And you know, we sell the cuttings, and this is an unknown variety, but they're incredibly large. They're very sweet. They're very good, and it's a different flavor profile. It's really light. And for anybody that's bought mulberries from us, this was one of the trees we took cuttings from. So ideally we wanted to let everything free range, but there is so much to mob grazing that's so beneficial, and at points in times you have to keep the critters out of your food because they'll just destroy it on you. I'll show you a couple examples of some mulberry trees in here that I had to put cages around because they love it so much they just devastate it. So this, for those of you investing in dirt coin, this is dirt coin Shangri-La. We have about, we had
9 loads.
Yeah, probably well over 100 yards of mixed tree trimmings, deep mulch, that we're continuing to distribute between the garden and the other multiple food forests around here. What we have back here, this is our side orchard. This is mostly about maybe 9 different varieties of peaches, some different varieties of pear, more figs, some apricots that still have not even flowered. They're in their 3rd or 4th year, and I don't know why. And there's lots of peaches, and there's some ripening peaches. We've been picking peaches. There's another unknown mulberry tree with lots of cool, I've done some grafting experiments on this tree that I've actually taken. This is one of our peach trees right now that's ripening. So they're getting real close. But I do need to get the cal and clay. Oh, that one's real close. Just to keep, it's an organic way to keep the pests off, and it'll keep the different bugs from boring into it. But yeah, there's probably, and then I randomly trim the trees. Peaches, this is another pear tree, couple more fig trees. This is a Violet de Solis. This is a really awesome fig, very large, very hardy, very fast grower. More peaches. We have some pluots back here. Once again, everything is intensively planted, nice and close together. I just want to create this canopy and understory, and just kind of did a random zigzag. And the birds in here help keep the grass down. We don't mow in here. The bird pressure keeps that down. More fig trees, a green Aetius, a great fig, real hardy. I don't know the variety of this pear tree, but we have some more pomegranates over here. We put a little pocket pond in here for our ducks. So every 4 or 5 days, just to ensure that the water didn't drain off, we put a tarp in the bottom. Every 4 or 5 days, we fill this back up, and the ducks love it, and it's a way to mass water the ducks. There's some duck nests over there. There's probably some duck eggs over there. We'll check that before we get out of here. Have some younger fig trees down here that they'll start to catch up this year. Got a couple other varieties of pomegranate trees. These will hopefully probably fruit next year. Like a red angel and I forget. I try to keep the tags on everything so I know what's what. Yep, that's an angel red. And look out, Tom. Angel red, and then this one is a Grenada. And they were both good for our zone, so that's why I got them. Oh, look here, y'all. You got to go to the stove. You got to go to the stove, y'all.
Those are probably so plenty good.
Yep, these are, yeah, I was just looking for eggs in here yesterday. Okay, so what's this? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. There's 13 eggs here, and you know, it's evening, it's probably 6 o'clock, and I've personally collected probably 2 dozen eggs, so. And these are farm fresh. These are just within, I was wondering where they were laying. That's another mulberry tree, that's a Kim, that's a grafted tree. I can't get that to root, but it'll grow in a graft. And I've grafted that tree. Here's some more peaches. They're kind of still about a month away or so. Peaches. So this is a world's best mulberry. And this tree was about this tall, and the cold snap got it. And it grew back twice, but the ducks love it and they devastate it. So I put this cage around this one, and I got another one over here. And both of these should be the biggest tree in here. But the ducks just love it, and they just murder it every chance they get. But it's a very fast grower. I put this cage around this tree 2 days ago, and that's the kind of growth already on there. So it's a very fast grower. I'm gonna go put these eggs on the front. So that's this side food forest. This was planted probably 3 years ago. Maybe 2, no, yeah, 3 years ago. This is the 3rd year. Grow food, not lawns, y'all. You can't eat your lawn. Why would you? These people in lawns, they're detached from reality.